This is MacVoices TV. MacVoices TV is brought to you by St. Clair Software, the makers of Default Folder and History Hound. Visit them at stclairsoft.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is MacVoices TV at Macworld Conference and Expo. This time we're in the iStockphoto booth talking to Kelly Thompson, COO of iStockphoto. Kelly, it's great to have you on MacVoices.
Thanks, good to be here.
So iStockphoto, we all know you and love you because of all the stock photography you let us use for incredibly reasonable prices, but you're starting to do some new things.
Yeah, we've been accepting audio files for the last few months. There's been an amazing number of files come in. Starting in early February, we'll actually start selling them. So, we're looking forward to that, and our customers are pretty excited about it. So,
does that mean you have to rename the company?
We actually own iStock Audio as well. So,
I see. Okay. Now, when you say sounds, what are we talking about? Are we talking about music scores? Are we talking about sound effects?
Yeah, we kind of describe them as all the way from sound effects up to complex audio composition, so music, yeah.
How about formats? What do I be able to download it in?
Kind of the standard. I think we do MP3s and WAV files, and so you can, like in the video side, you'll be able to choose what you want to download in. Yeah.
Now you know that iStockphoto did such a great job of finding a very unique pricing model to make it affordable, whereas a lot of other places don't. What's the pricing model going to be for this?
2 to 20 credits, which is about $2 to $20. So yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Will you still be accepting submissions from people the same way you do from photographers now for new sounds?
Oh yeah. We'll keep going. When we introduce a new format like that, we like to give ourselves 2 or 3 months. It's easy for us to start accepting the formats and start approving. It's a little bit more work on the development side to actually start selling it. So not only do we get to build the collection, to a fairly decent size by the time we start selling it, but it gives our developers some time to actually finish on the other side.
Kelly, this may not be a fair question, but how much, I know the photography side is huge. I don't know what you're up to now. And I'll ask that, but I'll also ask where you're starting with the audio. What kind of selection will we see?
I think you'll be surprised about how good the selection will be. There'll be tens and tens of thousands to start out with. So yeah, it'll be good. Now, if you're asking about, I was going to say the amount we're paying out to if you're want to submit. Right now, we're up to $1.1 million a week paid out to our contributors in royalties. That's across all illustrations, photos, and video right now. So,
what is the size of the library? Do you have any idea?
Yes. So 4.1 million illustrations, photos, and videos right now. So.
I must confess, it does seem when I go and look for something, I can always find it, which is a little staggering because we all have the little niche. You come up with this idea, well, I really need this. They probably won't have it. You do the search and, oh my God, there are 5 of them at least, sometimes 500.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing about having 65,000 contributing photographers right now. They're from every corner of the world. Their interests are varied, so we get the same sort of varied selection back. It is sort of astounding sometimes when you do a search and find exactly what you're looking for. So, and they're still, they're submitting about 45,000 images a week, and we're approving 35,000 of those. So the collection is growing really quickly.
You also indicated you're doing something new for the Mac that is something, of course, that we always like to hear because it's going to be only for the Mac, at least to start with.
Yeah. One of the problems when you have a website that's as successful as iStock is we always want to introduce new features, but it's like changing a fan belt on your car when you're doing 60. It's hard to get those new features integrated, and we come up with them all the time. So we kind of took a step back and said, if we were to redesign a site that allowed users to really efficiently and quickly buy images, flip through them, how would we do it? So we went to the drawing board and we came out with some pretty good ideas, and I said, well, how could we do this the quickest, the easiest? And we said, well, if we develop it on the Mac, we know we can do it faster than any other way possible, and it has all the features we're looking for. So that's what we did. Its code name is Dexter, so you guys are some of the first to hear about it. And yeah, it's a really, really great OS 10 application. Uses core animation and all those cool technologies. We'll start kind of a private beta test in the next few weeks with some of our big customers, and then hone it a little bit more, and then open it up in the next few months for all of our customers on the site. Now, eventually, the Windows people, or I guess the Mac people, if they want to, will be producing it in an Air version, Adobe Air version as well. And now, hopefully, the best things that we find, after doing all these testing and these interface, putting the interface in front of people, we'll take the best of those things and just move it over onto the website. So.
The selection of Air is interesting. Is it just because of the ability to do cross-platform at that point, and the Mac version is sort of a prototype kind of thing because that's the easiest way to develop?
Yeah, exactly. We have some in-house expertise, so the Mac OS 10 version was sort of a no-brainer. But on the site, about 75-25% Windows Mac. So obviously there's a large population we have to serve on the Windows side too. And the interesting thing about Air is that it had a lot of the functionality we needed as well, especially when it comes to something that's close to core animation. If you're doing all the sexy things on one side, you kind of want to be able to do them on the other, and Air provides most of what we were looking for as well.
We started off saying about photos, and I probably misspoke a little because you mentioned illustrations. So I can go on, I can get vector illustrations that are extremely useful. I can take them apart, use them the way I need to. You also have been doing video for a while, though, as well.
Yeah, video was sort of a surprise how well it actually ended up working. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's a large chunk of our business now, for sure. And I think we targeted the right people. We went to videographers who used images off the site and said, do you have a lot of stuff laying around that you're not doing anything with? And all of them went, oh yeah, I do. Every videographer has done shoots where they have a lot of B-roll footage or just stuff lying around they're not doing anything with. So if you take some time to edit out some good chunks and upload it, they're making really decent money off of it. So it's been exciting for them.
So iStockphoto is just going to become the one-stop shop for pretty much everything we need for our creative projects.
We're trying hard.
I think you're doing a good job. Kelly, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. I know you've got a busy show going.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Chuck Joyner. We've been talking to Kelly Thompson, the COO of iStockphoto at iStockphoto.com. The talk of the Mac community is at Macworld Conference and Expo in San Francisco. We'll be back again soon. Thanks for listening. MacVoices TV is brought to you by St. Clair Software, the makers of Default Folder and History Hound. Visit them at stclairsoft.com. MacVoices TV is part of the MacVoices Group and a member of Mac Level 10.